Assalamu alaikum, I'm Zaki Bika and you're with us in the lab, empowering, inspiring and informing our viewers. Cancer may be the most frightening word in medicine. Life changes suddenly and profoundly after a cancer diagnosis. Initial shock gives way to a realization of the tremendous physical, emotional and spiritual challenges that lie ahead. Beyond the emotional turmoil that accompanies a cancer diagnosis, patients face a practical necessity to develop a plan to live with and fight cancer. Today's topic or today's episode is about our own very own leukemia warrior, Safura Ismail Saint. Unfortunately, we had an episode planned with her, but due to her condition, she's currently in hospital and she's in a very, very bad way. We request du'as from everybody. With us in studio today is Kader Saint, her husband, that's going to fill in for Safura and tell us about her struggle against leukemia. Assalamu alaikum. Jazakallah so much, Kader, for attending this episode.
Shukran for having me.
It's only a pleasure. So, tell us about the very first time that Safura got diagnosed with her illness. Where were you? Where was she? How did it all happen?
Okay, Safura was pregnant at the time. We took her to the hospital. The doctor done test and they found out she was low in blood. They asked, do we accept blood transfusions? We accepted. She was scheduled to have an evacuation of the baby, which they did on a Sunday. Doctor called me just after the procedure, maybe about lunchtime. He says, I'm sorry, but your wife will not be leaving the hospital now. She's being diagnosed with acute leukemia. And then from there, she was transferred from one ward to which is now the ward 20, which is the cancer ward at the hospital. Mm-hmm. This all took place in the end of April, about the 28th of April. And she's been in and out of hospital. She's been in the hospital for about 4 months now, mm-hmm. and she's been home for about 21 days or so.
Sure. So Kader, in all this, you mean to say she had a normal pregnancy, she just went for a miscarriage, and this is how all this transpired?
When she was pregnant, we didn't see anything wrong, mm-hmm. but she had a bit of tired spells and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. We all assumed it was just maybe because of the pregnancy and stuff like that. Yes. But no symptoms lining up to say anything untoward with cancer or anything else besides that.
So you mean to say if Safura carried to term, you would never have known this thing happened?
Exactly.
Sure. Where were you? Where were you at this time? Were you with Safura all the time?
I was with Safura, myself, and my son was with her at the hospital. Okay. When she took her on Friday evening. When we found out about the news about the cancer, it was myself, Safura, and her sisters, and their husbands were with us.
Okay, so you say this happened in April. From April till now, it's basically 5 months. Her leukemia has progressed drastically. How do you, in such a short span of time, how are y'all coping? How is she coping?
Okay, she has received 3 sessions of chemo. Mm-hmm. The first session was 7 days on, 21 day recover. Came home for 7 days. Second was 6 days, 21 day recover, 10 days home. The last time, the more aggressive one, was 6 days in. She came home for 2 days. She took ill. Mm-hmm. She went back in for 35 days. Mm-hmm. Came home for about 6 hours or so. Went back in for 10 days. Safura is a fighter. Safura is things that I don't think I'll be able to do. Mm-hmm. She has achieved. She has fought. She does have a bad moments. She mm-hmm. does have a bad days. Okay. Currently she's in hospital.
I saw Safura last week. I met with Safura last week, Saturday. So it's basically 7 days time. Okay. When I saw Safura last week, she was a bubble. She was a bubble of hope and a bubble of joy. What is happening right now to Safura?
Okay. Last week, the past Monday, she had a bit of a swelling of her eye. Mm-hmm. We assumed it was maybe something to do with a tooth pain. a toothache or
Okay.
something, and we took it to the dentist. The dentist said everything's fine. They phoned her doctor. The doctor said must come in. They had a checkup, and on Tuesday they had to do a operation on her eye, because she had abscess forming on her eye.
Okay.
They done a necessary operation. They done whatever, and they had to do a biopsy on tissue on the eye to see for fungal infection.
Okay.
Yesterday, the doctor contacted us and says no, there is signs of fungal infection, and they have to change the antibiotics, and they have to give us permission to it. And the costing of the antibiotic is expensive. It's about 14,000 rand per day, which the medical aid might not pay. So it was either it's a no-brainer.
Okay, so we hear you sitting with us here today in the lab, and Safura and you and your family have decided to, or you started this campaign that's called the Leukemia Warrior. Tell us what made you start this campaign and how far are you with this now?
The reason why we started it off was basically, first we needed to get funds for Safura for the bone marrow transplant. The bone marrow transplant has to be done on Safura. Unfortunately, because of medical council rules and regulations, and the medical aid will not pay for the transplant. So it's either we let Safura come home and spend a few days at home and not make it, or we give her opportunity to go forward and try and have a normal life. And we've got a quotation and everything from the doctors, and it's about 1.5 million rand for the operation, including with complications, as they would say.
Okay.
That is the one thing. The second thing is that we have also found out there's a lot of other people that is in a similar situation as Safura. So our drive is not only for Safura, but it will be, inshallah, if everything goes well, we'll be passing forward to the next person that has a similar scenario as Safura as well. It's basically for us to be aware of what's happening in our world, because when we found out about those things here, we thought it's just a death sentence.
Yes.
And
but
it is a possibility of hope.
So when I spoke to Safura, she's got a 100% match for the bone marrow
for the
transplant.
Yes.
So what is actually hampering now is that the funds. To give Safura a fighting chance, we need to raise this funds.
Correct.
Okay. So what are your we've seen you all on social media. You're running a whole lot of campaigns. There's the Cook Sister campaign, the bracelet campaign, and we're looking for funds. What is your what is Safura's expectations from our community?
Okay. When we found out about the whole costing of 1.5 million, we looked at it as a mountain. And then when we were busy talking about how do we go about it, before the fund was actually started, we were looking at it and we tried to be positive, so we broke it on further. So we said, if every person can donate 100 rand from 15,000 people, we make it. So it's just to be a positive outlook of it.
Okay.
The campaigns we've got now, it's a consistent thing, like you done said, like you spoke now. They say it's very successful. They have been sold out this moment. The bracelet campaign is going very well. There's a lot of people approaching us that are putting in orders as far as Johannesburg as well. Local people, tons of people are buying those things. All monies are going towards the Safura Leukemia Fund. There's other things that will be happening. By next week, they will be having something at a PMT mosque. They will be having a fete, and the PMT has actually allowed us to have a cupcake stall there, and all proceedings that will be sold will be going for Safura's fund as well. The week thereafter, there's going to be another fete type of a thing happen down shops. Also, for all funds will be raising going to Safura fund. The community, it's a lot of people that has come forward and assisted us. We thank them and we make shukr and we give them all blessings that is due to them, and for their heart and the openness and Everything goes with it. But we still require more help.
Okay, so what I see is that the community is definitely supporting. They are supporting. So how I put this, so if we as individuals, if we see the amount, 1.5 million is a huge amount, even in today's times where money has got no value. It's a huge amount. But like you say, if we break it down, I need the community to understand this. If we break it down, all it takes is 15,000 people to give 100 rand and raise this money so that Safura can have a fighting chance. She's got 100% match for her bone marrow transplant. So all we need is for us to come out there and open our hearts as usual, as people normally do when they hear this kind of situations, and just give out and dig deep and give your best. Even if you can't make that 100 rand, if it's just just your duas, that's all. Kader, what is you as a husband? What is so nice about this, that this past week has been so much things going on in the country about hatred towards women, and here you are sitting and rooting for your wife and giving her the best of what you have. Where are you? What is your greatest fear right now?
Losing my wife. Just losing her.
What is Safura's greatest fear?
Not seeing her son growing up. We've got a 7-year-old son, and he misses his mother as well, but he understands. He understands the situation, and just this morning we were talking and stuff, and he says he knows his mother will get better, and that's what pushes him on every day.
What is your greatest hope? What is your greatest hope for Safura right now, and your greatest hope for everybody that's facing the same situation that she has?
My greatest hope on everything is just that Allah Ta'ala gives us the direction to first of all for her to grant full shifa, and may she recover from this disease completely and utterly, and may never return. That's how it was every day. And for the community just to stand together and says, we are supporting one of our people from our own place, where we stand united as brother and sister together, not as a diversity of religion or race or whatever. And that should all be taken secondary when it concerns sickness, any sickness.
Absolutely.
In our community, we've got sickness, we've got unnecessary problems that's happening here, but as a community, we stand together, we all can go forward.
We always stand together. From a medical side of this, what are the doctors' hopes?
Okay. As the doctors, as anyone will know, there's no guarantee of life.
Absolutely.
The bone marrow has a better chance for the cancer not to return. It moves the opportunity from no bone marrow. The way the doctor explained to us, she says if she gets a bone marrow, it moves the chance of full recovery to 80%.
Okay.
Instead of where it is now, lower than 75%. Now, if she gets the bone marrow, she may have a better life. She's currently in remission of the cancer. So the opportunity to do the bone marrow now is always at its best. The problem with the more chemo it comes through, it can actually make it worse.
It suppresses her immune system or compromises her immune. Okay.
And it can actually make it worse for herself in health-wise.
Okay.
The doctors and them are very optimistic because she's one of the luckier people to have a donor so quickly.
Yes.
And she's got other donors that are also out of the country. But we are lucky enough to have one donor in South Africa. So that's a good thing.
Okay.
The doctors are hopefully that we can do the bone marrow transplant so she can continue her life forward. 5 years from now, inshallah, she will be able to be what they call cancer free.
Okay, inshallah.
And then from there it goes, progression will be better and better.
Inshallah.
Miracles do happen.
No, I mean all the time, and Allah is so Ghafurur Rahim.
Amen.
So, there you have it. We've come to the end of this episode. We're going to put up details regarding the Safura's Ismail Saint Leukemia Warrior campaign. We're going to put the details up. But right now, we're appealing to all of us in the community. I've said it and I'm going to reiterate how important it is for us to stand together and give Safura a fighting chance, because she has all the positives. The doctors are positive. Her family is standing with her, and we just need our community to help us once again, to bring this to fruition. Jazakallah so much, Kader, for joining us.
One more thing is that we have confirmed that Lila and Zakat is acceptable on her case. So all those things are welcome as well.
Okay, there you have it. I want you to tell Safura that I really missed having her in the seat today, but nonetheless, you did a great job. And on behalf of everybody from the lab and Laudium today and our community, we really, really, really wish her a speedy recovery, and all our du'as and hopes are with her. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.
Well then, it's a wrap. I end today with a quote that says, "Cancer does not have a face until it's you or someone you love." Please support our Safura Leukemia Warrior Fund. If you need any info regarding this cause, message us and we will gladly assist. Catch us next week on Loading Today for another great episode.
Watch our episodes on YouTube and subscribe to our profile. Also, stay in touch on Facebook, WhatsApp, and Instagram, and we'll keep you up to speed with topics coming up next week. Don't miss an episode.